Are we done? Oh, we haven't started. You are listening to CIA, Cinematically Informed Americans, on Lucid Geek Speak. Where's the off button?
Welcome to this week's episode of CIA, Cinematically Informed Americans. My name is Sean Jones. My co-hosts are
Jordan Calgar,
Commodore Schmidlap,
a.k.a. Fred. And this week we have a special guest host,
Taylor.
And we're going to begin to a few things. I want to get a few things out of the way first. Fred actually talked a little bit about a new show for Lucid Geek Speak, sort of a spin-off of CIA.
kind of record and get short interviews with people maybe some of us know or maybe nobody knows or whatever, and just kind of get their thoughts about things that I want to talk about or that they want to talk about.
Yeah, and once we're going to kind of compile these into one and release them as episodes as well. We're going to call it a CIA Classifieds, right?
Yeah, and it's not...
Classified? I guess CIA Classified.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of like a spin-off, I guess, of this show. But I think that's really cool. I like the idea of it. So, also, make sure to check out our blog. I always say that just because... a lot of people can get the file directly off our Facebook, but on the blog, though, we have, like, pictures and quotes and things and just kind of like an episode guide, and it's kind of fun. And that's lucidgeekspeak.blogspot.com. I also want to take a second and just say, we talked about some of the other shows we're doing last week, and I just want to say sorry as far as save points. We had some technical issues and other things. That's definitely coming out in the next few days. And then also we have our very first and so far only episode of Origin Stories, which that's going to be monthly anyway, but we're still trying to work out getting permission for it, just to make sure that the person we interview, we'll call Q, is comfortable with it. And it's hilarious, and it's also tragic, and it's full of all sorts of great stuff. It's a great interview. There's a junkie Thunderdome. There's pissing on hookers. Yeah. There's also tragedy,
like a good family movie.
Like a trailer that's showing all the best parts of the movie.
I think a lot of people would really enjoy listening to it, not only for the funny stuff in there, but also some of the tragedies. And make sure to give us feedback because he's interested in possibly doing a part 2, clarifying, expanding on some stuff. So send us any questions you guys have. Once we finally get up, hopefully that'll be, I'm guessing, sometime maybe by Saturday, Sunday. And as far as this show goes, we're trying really hard to make sure we can get the episodes out by Thursday, but it's not always guaranteed. Of course, we do have jobs and other things going on, so we'll do our best, but if it's not out by Thursday, most likely it'll be out by Friday. And that's it for all my little things I had to get away. Our first thing we wanted to take care of course, with our special guest host, we got to talk about Taylor's Top 10. See that alliteration? Isn't that great?
That was beautiful.
I know. You just need to be on here all the time.
Like Casey Kasem there for a second.
And now for the rest of the story.
So start with, I guess you're going to start from the bottom. Start with number 10.
All right. I'm going to be lying if I say that I didn't do this real quick, but I'm okay with it. I like this. I only had like a week to do this, so.
A week.
I'm going to go with my number 10 is Girls Gone Wild, Best Breasts in America.
You cannot honestly put that on your top.
Yes, he can. This volume, may I ask, sir?
There's no penetration. I'm not watching it.
All right. Well, you know what? All right. I feel like this is something we can go into.
I find that
should be.
It is something we could go into, indeed.
I see what you did there with the thing.
With the thing in... Okay.
Oh, God.
So what?
All right.
Thumbs up on the first one, by the way, Taylor.
No problem. So, no, for real. My...
2 breasts.
One for each.
That was just a number joke. That wasn't even the sex joke. That was, yes, a girl
grabbing at straws,
Number 17 is the one that has the girl that lived across the street from him, was too young when he was in high school, but then now it's
wow, if that's the case, that would
like,
be on
I guess
If
her
you
dad
look
really
really
didn't
hard,
like her, yeah.
If you look really hard, you can spot me in a couple of the Girls Gone Wild videos in the back. I just followed the bus around. I went on a tour with it one summer.
Please let me see.
But no, for real. Okay. I went with number 10, The Day the Earth Stood Still. The original one.
Oh.
Not the Keanu one.
Why not the Keanu one?
Because the Keanu one was good. I like...
I'm kidding. But I like
John
Cleese. I thought the Keanu one
John
was
Cleese
okay.
was in the Keanu one. I really liked John Cleese. Anyway, no, I'm a history buff. I thought I was going to be a history major for like 10 years. And the whole, like, it's 1950. 5, and the United Nations or something, just something they talk about was like 2 years old at the time. And whoever wrote about it like really knew what was going on with that at the time. Because for it to come out like 2 years later, it was like, wow, good work, whoever wrote that.
So, and I think that's funny you keep saying. You always talk about wanting to be a history major.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell you, I did it. I'm living your dream.
Well, good.
And it's not all it's cracked up.
Also, talk to Pat.
It was Pat history?
Yeah.
No. Like,
Pat's living your dream right now.
History. Yeah.
Yeah, bachelor's in history for sure.
Get a swinging golf club and young callers.
Yeah, we'll say there's a
Catch
guy.
that.
There's also another guy we know who has a history major, and he's also not doing shit with it. So you know.
Gotcha. Well, it was like
Hey, just sit around and wait for some more history to happen. Then you'll be up on the most current history.
A lot of people, of course, you know the classic films and stuff, black and white movies.
No,
I like all those. I don't know. It looks
I do
alright. I've
too.
seen parts from them, or from that one in particular. I've seen parts of, but I don't know if I've ever sat down and watched it from beginning to end.
What is it about that movie that you really like that makes you want you to put in your top 10?
Yeah, it was right there in the same wave of like I don't know, the like alien communism.
Oh, yeah.
And but I feel like it stands out in I don't know, I haven't watched too many of those, and it stands out among the ones that I have watched. But like I was talking about, the political bit, and I don't remember what it's like. The alien is like. No, like the president or something is like, oh, we can't trust you. You're new here. And the alien's like, well, you've got countries. And I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
All these divisions among you, yeah.
Right, that whole thing. I remember liking that. And it was the 50s, so that was an early portrayal.
Isn't he? Wasn't he wearing like a bald cap with like pointy ears?
No,
I don't remember much of what he looked like.
He,
Just a dude?
He looks like a dude. But he's also got that robot that looks like somebody wearing plastic.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Back then.
Space age.
Okay, well then I guess I will take this time to say some of mine are like not throwaway numbers because I do like them, but they're not as favorite.
Hey
as the
man,
other
you don't have to keep defending the Girls Gone Wild thing. We all get it.
I had Killer Clowns on
Sean
my
made a
top
joke,
10,
but he's
so.
married. He understands.
I was gonna go with Killer Clowns as my Netflix lookup because I just found that.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
And
it is on Netflix.
It's beautiful. It's inspiring.
It's gold.
It's inspiring.
Wait, you've never seen it before?
I had never seen it.
Have you watched it?
I was doing a paper for a class on campiness and cult. And I wanted to go for Plan 9 from Outer Space, but
then-
it's not on Netflix anymore. And it was like, if you like Plan 9 from Outer Space,
I-
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And, well, no,
Yes.
nobody liked Plan 9. But
only,
and I was like,
People love bad movies.
they do. But
But
that was so
Killer Clowns. Yeah, and it's got that bass riff, that theme throughout.
Yeah.
And, Bam. Well, it was like the bow-down.
That was what Sean when you listed the Killer Clowns.
Yeah,
I love the bass line.
I do.
It's good.
That music stuck with me. It got my soul.
And you were probably conceived to some to a similar
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The timeline's about right.
But the cotton candy, the blood, and the giant clown at the end. And he
uh,
pops it with that little fucking
Clownzilla.
badge.
Yeah, right?
And then they're all okay. And then they all just make it out in that car that was not in that same room.
Terrible.
Or, you know,
We should call this whole segment Sean gives away the good parts of every movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fucking
Well, the
the
ending's
Sixth
best, right?
Sense or something with like a big giant twist at the end.
Okay.
So, you know.
Bruce. Wow. Okay. I was gonna say Bruce Willis was dead the whole time, but I really almost said Bruce Wayne is dead the whole time. Bruce Wayne's a ghost. Number 9. I don't know if there's. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. Number 9's Anchorman.
Yes. Oh, great. Great
So,
movie.
You know, great quotes, great. It kind of set Will Ferrell's like direction for a while with what he was gonna do for the next like 6 movies.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
the first time I watched Anchorman, I couldn't quite get into it. Then I went back, watched it a second time, and actually sat and watched the whole thing.
Mhm.
It was really, really funny. Like, my sister was watching it over and over again. I was like, why are you watching that movie? Like, and I started watching some of it, and I think I was watching the part where he's at the diner and he ate poop.
Yeah.
Eat poop.
If I bring you a piece of shit, what is it?
He's
Will
like,
you
I'm
eat
not
it for
gonna- I'm
$100?
not- fine, I'll eat
Oh,
it.
if I eat
I'll
the shit, I can have a steak. if you eat this piece of shit, you can have a steak.
Yeah.
I'll eat this shit. That whole bit.
Yeah, that was. I was like, okay. And then he punted the dog off. the
Yeah,
bridge.
that was.
I'm ruining all the best
Jack
parts.
did that.
Yeah, Jack.
That's right. Sorry, Jack Black did that. And that, but
As
yeah,
a
then I was.
biker. I think he had
That's what
a
happened.
vest, maybe.
That's what happens when you throw a
That was
burrito at one.
Yeah.
You don't throw burritos. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
I don't throw
It's
food
dangerous.
away from my body ever.
That was the thing
Going
I
the
love most.
wrong
What do you
direction.
love most?
That's a big wasted burrito.
But yeah, Anchorman was good. That's really funny. I like that movie.
Now
That's
that I'm
funny.
looking at my list, I'm really upset that I don't have any Mel Brooks on here. But I would like
That's okay. By Sean's way of thinking, you can just use Mel Brooks as one of your numbers. You can count entire franchises with one.
That's true. Yes.
Well,
Say Mel Brooks movies.
I'm for Mel Brooks then. Number 8, I've got Forrest Gump, because when is that on the TV and you're flipping through there
And you don't?
don't stick with it for
Every
one of their like 20-minute segments.
I really liked it. I thought it was a great
Oh,
movie.
I really liked it too. But it's not The Crow. I'm not going to watch it 57 times or whatever.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of how many times I've seen Forrest Gump. It's definitely around 10.
I don't think I've ever sat and no, I have sat and watched the whole thing. But it's like I think I'm going to pay attention to Forrest Gump learning how to run today.
Wait, you don't know if you've seen it all the way
No,
through?
I know that I
Oh.
have.
Oh.
I just don't know how long ago that's been.
Oh, okay.
I love when he goes on a shrimp boat. Yeah, that was one of the best parts, and trying to give Lieutenant
Gary's-
Dan
yeah.
ice cream.
Gary Sinise was great.
Gary Sinise was really good. Though.
I don't know if anyone. I don't think anyone did bad in it. Sally Fields.
Sally Fields is really good in it.
Even the fucking kid getting his acting start. Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel
Osment.
Funny thing about Forrest Gump that I read or heard somewhere, or I think is true, you don't know how true those things are, but apparently they had already started filming Forrest Gump, and they had got a small chunk of it finished, and they decided to shoot the scenes with young Forrest Gump on the bus, like getting picked on and stuff, and they had to explain to him, like, alright, you're playing a character that's a little slow, he's not quite right, and he's like, okay, I know how to play that, and they start filming the kid, and he's like, my name's Forrest Gump, and he like talks like that, and Tom Hanks is like, holy shit, scrap everything. I'm doing that.
Awesome. I never heard that
And that
before.
kid invented that Forrest Gump role.
I hope that's true.
Yeah.
But I thought that when I was like,
really
Fred
cool.
Rogers was a Green Beret and killed 14 people? I don't know. I love and hate the internet, but whatever. That's awesome. I hope that's a true
I really hope that's true. But yeah, I don't know. They redid like all of Back to the Future when they got Michael J. Fox. So
No, I think they only had. I thought they only had a half
Well,
of
not
it filmed or
all of it,
something.
but- they had enough to where they had him.
Because they originally had. Was it not Jason Bateman or who was it?
It was nobody big.
Jason
No.
Bateman?
Yeah, no, I think
That
it
might
was
be-
someone big.
It was,
I-
it was
yeah, I've
not
heard
Jason
something.
Bateman.
well, he was in Teen Wolf 2.
Well, it would have made sense timeline-wise because, I don't know, I know you guys are all too young to remember this awesome show called It's Your Move with Jason
I didn't watch
Bateman.
it. I didn't watch it.
Jason Bateman's in
Silver
Arrested
Spoon.
Development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hancock.
I don't think it was.
But he was in Teen Wolf 2, so he already replaced him and Michael J. Fox. Already have a.
I already have a thing.
Oh.
He played him in he was in the sequel.
I feel like the
that's
guy
a
they were
Rodney
using
Seaver
for.
forget, rather.
But I don't know. I
feel like
God,
he was
it's-
just a nobody.
No, it was definitely a somebody. I just can't remember.
Fairly certain you're the one that told me that not that long ago, and
Maybe.
that sounds familiar. It was definitely
It
one of those
seems-
weird, like, could have been things, you know.
Yeah.
But the timeline's totally. I don't think it was him though. Now in reflection, but
Yeah.
let's move on to
All right.
Taylor's list.
All right.
What was that? Number 8, number 7. My number 7 one was. Alright, my number 7 one is Signs.
I really like Signs.
I really like Signs, and it's the only one of M. Night Shyamalan's movies that I'll defend that's not. I just watched Once Upon a Time for the first time.
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable. I
And
just
did
watched
you
that
like
for the
it?
first time, and I really liked it.
I would
of
say
course-
Unbreakable is his best movie. That's what I would put it.
Without Unbreakable, I like Signs.
Oh, okay.
So number
Then why
2,
is it? Then why isn't Unbreakable on the list over Signs?
Because I've only
If you
seen
just-
Unbreakable once.
Oh,
And I mean,
okay,
if we're going
so
to like
you
hallmark
get-
of favorite movies.
Yeah, I got you.
Like there's some great movies that I've just seen that didn't make it in.
Signs, huh?
It's
Signs is really
got
good.
rewatched.
What did you
value.
think about that, Jordan?
Oh, I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix did a really good job in it. I mean, I really liked it as a kid, but I went back and watched it again, and I don't know, it doesn't really have the same lasting appeal.
That's kind of interesting. Wait, you said as a kid. It came out in what, 2004?
Oh, I was young
Signs?
when I saw it.
Well, I guess I probably...
Is that right?
Yeah.
It seems like it was further back than that because
No, like it was either.
Okay, well, either
I
way,
will maybe give it.
people that care will know.
It's been over a decade.
Because Unbreakable was 2002, and his next movie was Signs. I'm pretty sure when Sixth Sense, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, and
a big
then
part of
The
Signs
Village.
being one that stuck with me was because I did live in a town, but I lived at the last house in town. So, like, if you looked left, you saw houses. If you looked right, you saw a cornfield.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched that at a very young age. However, whenever it came out, I was very young. And living next to a cornfield, and that stuck with me.
Well, these are the two things I can tell you about Signs. Number one, I think it has, even though the scene, again, I'm all about these really short parts of movies that really stick with me, but the scene where they're watching TV and it's like Mexico City or something, it's like an alley shot, there's like people, and this thing shambles across and turns and kind of looks like it, and it's just a flash, but you're like, I mean, it scared me. I mean, it was, and I just remember, and I saw that in the theater with my dad, you know, he's a big Mel Gibson fan, you know, all kinds of reasons, but, yeah, and the other thing I remember thinking in the theater when we saw it,
Was it
people can travel here from another planet or raised from the dead, but they can't open doorknobs. Doorknobs are somehow completely beyond anything they could hope to.
It took Velociraptors a long time.
Oh my
Jurassic
God.
Park too.
All those times, with all those people in those Friday the 13th or whatever kind of alien, anything, just get behind and close.
Well,
Well, really, I mean,
I know what you're saying. Well, wasn't the door locked when they were in the basement?
oh, my bad.
I'm just
My
saying.
bad. People with intergalactic travel capabilities, a balsa wood or whatever it is, like a clapboard type thing. I don't know what the door was made of, but
no,
I mean, not one of them was like, "Damn it, Harv, we should have brought that axe," or you know, like.
You would think they would have that technology, but they do explain that, like, it's the scout wave that doesn't have any of their technology with them. They do say that in there.
The tech.
Did they believe that they were like scouting or something?
They think that it's a scouting party, and that if they did bring their
A
weapons,
door that wouldn't stop my 9-year-old nephew from getting in. It's not
that was solid fucking oak, sir. It was a solid.
They prop it up with a magic pickaxe.
How do you know that?
They put a magic.
I watched
just
it behind the
remember being,
scene.
like a lot of his movies, a little disappointed. But again, it's Unbreakable sure makes up for a lot of stuff. But not when they ruin one of my kids' favorite cartoons.
Avatar.
The Last Airbender.
He's a mess.
Like
Well,
I said,
listen, I have an idea though. Let's take a story about a bunch of Chinese people and make a movie where there's not a single Asian person in it. I mean, somebody please back me up on this.
Steven Skull did it for years, so.
I heard
They got the white kid named Rathbone playing whatever, his little pal around guy, and then some chick from I don't know what her name is.
I didn't know she
All of a
was
sudden,
in it.
Sean's like,
Really?
Interesting.
I don't know. That you know, the dialogue in that is.
I heard
That
nothing.
guy's like, well, George Lucas gets away with it. Wow, no way. It's just horrible.
I heard nothing but bad things about it, so I just avoided it entirely. Though I remember when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked really cool, like the choreography looked good, but then everyone was like, no, it looks like shit in the movie. I was like, well, fine. And the story and acting and everything was so bad. It's just like, I guess I won't waste my time. I think I started, watched like the first 5 minutes of it.
Anywhere near making up for the
horrible.
It was just bad.
Well, hopefully he can make up for it with After Earth, his new movie that's coming out. Maybe he will.
Is that
Maybe.
the one with
Will Smith and his son?
Okay, I knew he was working.
It looks
on something.
decent. It looks better than his last 3 movies. Shyamalan's last 3 movies. But anyhow, I guess.
Bless you.
All right, so Signs.
Come on.
All right. This is the last of my bad sci-fi movies, but number 6 is Tremors.
Oh my God! You put Tremors on your.
Tremors definitely gets the count. I have the entire whatever it's called, Rumble Pack or whatever.
Yeah,
all the movies.
How many are there? Didn't they get
Four. And then a bad TV show with Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
I did not know there was a Tremors TV show.
It lasted for like 5 episodes.
Oh my God! So usually those are my favorite shows.
The complete series. Yeah, I liked the first movie a lot, especially as a kid. I watched it a lot of times. And then they just got worse with each sequel.
Oh no, it's the Ass Blasters!
And they even fucking...
Was it in the 3rd or 4th one whenever they were like little balls where they grew legs and they were like running around?
On the ground and shit.
Yeah, I was like, all right, it's fucking done. They've gone away from the whole idea. It was tremors. Like they fucking come from the ground. Now they're walking around. I was like, it's done. It's done. The whole thing's.
Yeah. You need to come up with a new name at least.
Yeah, call it something else. Call it little walking
ball
critter.
With legs.
Balls with legs.
Balls with legs. There we go.
Let's officially rename Tremors 4.
Revenge of the Chickens. They're like little terror.
They
chickens,
did
right?
like little chickens. It was
Like after
weird.
you cut the head
Terrible.
off.
All right.
All right, so
Okay,
I can't wait to hear.
number 5. I went with The Dark Knight.
yeah,
Oh, I had that on my list
I think
as well.
that was that on all of our lists last time. It was on mine, yours, Fred. I don't think you put it on there.
No, Fred looks insulted.
Not even, but not the second one. Oh Jesus! We're gonna talk about Nolan Batman movies. We're gonna have a whole segment later.
Not today.
Not tonight, but another time.
Fred's gonna have to
Fred's gonna need an hour to go through it. So,
We'll get you
but
next time, 'cause
I'm
you
with
know it.
you. I'm with you. Me and Jordan are with you.
I love The Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong.
But because you didn't like the third one so much, that somehow has impacted how you feel about the second one.
Yeah, but Batman Begins almost made my top 10.
Really?
Like,
Yeah,
I
that was-
couldn't
Got
do it.
that
I
for
couldn't do it.
$5 at Walmart the other day. It was in
Good
the
deal.
$5
It's a good deal, yeah.
The $5 section. Where's number 5? No, that was number 5. Number 4 is the Royal Tannenbaums.
Yes!
Oh.
Was that in there?
No,
I like that. No, I
we
didn't.
talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
I just watched that again the other day, and it's really good.
I guess I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it another shot at some point.
You
Is it
know
on Netflix Instant?
I do not think so, because I had to go get it from Family Video.
I don't get this. Really, you're that lazy. Like, you have the internet. You can watch anything you want. I mean, I'm not trying to encourage people to do things illegally. Just stream things. Anything you find streaming. Pirating's bad. Streaming's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I may find some legal avenue to get
Because they have those. It's called Censor This Out. Remember how great that is? That we have that to where we can get all of our movies? But no, I like the sense of humor in that. It's really dark and really subtle, and I really like it.
And you thought it was better than than Wes Anderson's others. You liked it more than what was the one that was on yours? Life Aquatic.
Steve Zissou.
I've
Or
only
Rushmore?
seen Life Aquatic once, and I might have been too young at the time, but I remember not liking it.
See, what's crazy to me is if you love the Royal Tannenbaums so much,
I
that
might
you didn't
like
just
it.
go out and watch all of the movies, like all of those.
The Wes
I
Anderson.
saw Moonrise Kingdom in theaters. I really liked Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I liked it too.
Fantastic
I
Mr.
liked that a lot.
Fox. And
Did you see
then-
Rushmore?
I don't think so.
Holy
Oh,
shit! Go
I'm
watch
bringing
that
that
one.
up tomorrow.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is
Bill Murray
so
versus
funny.
Jason
Bill Murray's in Rushmore?
Schwartzman. Yeah.
Gee-
All right. Did I just
You
insult
haven't seen it?
everyone? No, okay, then I haven't seen it. I'm thinking of... Is Rushmore the one where they're all... The cover art is they're all standing on something, and it's like raining?
No, he's got like a red beret with his arm in the air, and it's
Fist
like
pumping, yeah.
Bill Murray smoking a cigarette. It's really good.
It's such a good movie.
The twins that play Bill Murray's sons or whatever in that movie. So it just
It's
cracks
a-
me up. I knew creative people just like that as a kid. That just cracked me up.
It is amazing. It's
Royal
amazing.
Tannenbaums though. Sean, not a big fan, but again, another common theme today is that Sean seems to takes him 2 times to really appreciate stuff that's not.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, well, sometimes
About
you
Batman.
just.
Old
Sometimes you watch a
movies.
movie and it's just if it's if it just doesn't grab you quick enough and you got other things going on, you just have to return to it later. And sometimes movies just better the second time around. I'm trying to think of another movie that kind of took time to grow on me. I don't know.
Ricky
I'm sure
Bobby
I'll
was
come
that
up
way with
with
me. The first time I saw
I'm with you there.
Ricky Bobby, I hated.
No interest. I
The
didn't like it
Talladega
at all.
Nights, you mean?
Mm,
Yeah, Talladega
yeah.
Nights.
Oh, sorry.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Oh yes, and that's one of my favorite parts.
All right, what's next?
All right, number 3. And now that I look at it, I'm debating between the order of number 3 and number 2. I don't know which one is my second favorite. And I did this out of order. I wrote out a bunch
Yes,
of
I
movies.
see there. Like, all of a sudden, I looked at the top and I saw Forrest Gump. I'm like,
It's
what?
number 6, 8, 3, 5, 4, 1, 2,
Yeah, you
9,
don't have to
10.
order them necessarily.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
put in
yeah.
no order at all. I can't do that. That's bad enough to pare it down to 10.
But Idiocracy.
Really? You
I'm
put that
such a
way
big
up?
fan of that movie, and a lot of the
Yeah,
movies
I
on your
did
list,
really
I just
like it myself.
top 10 in it. It's crazy for me, but I love that movie. Because the basic premise of it is something that I've been worried about for years. I'm not kidding. I mean, really, the fact that young people have more and more kids at a younger and younger age, which means they're multiplying at a way higher rate than anybody that's intelligent because they, are in their mid to late 20s at least before they start having kids. And actually, they're
a lot of people are holding off
the other way, holding off longer, which
35.
is also hurting us because, as we all know, your genetics, you don't,
Yeah, and you have a higher chance of genetic disorders.
Don't get me wrong, please. Everybody go have more children or at least practice.
But I love that one. And the way they present it is really smart. It's not just like, I don't want to say it's not just like explaining it to you and doing the movie, but it is. It's like, in a world where, I don't know, I love that movie a lot.
It got a lot of mixed reviews from people when I was working at the video store when it came out, so I held off. No, I haven't
seen it.
It's
so funny.
I've
never seen it?
No, I've been wanting to see it only because more people I talk to that like similar movies to me keep saying they liked it, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I need to give it a chance.
If I still have it, I'll let you borrow it, because I had it, and I think it might have disappeared.
Something about the movie, though, reminds me of, like a future where something weird's kind of going on, where now it's like he goes to a future where everyone else is stupid, but he's smart.
He's in a...
That's the idea? But that's the basic concept?
Yeah.
On some level, he's there. Everyone else is done now in the future.
In our time, he's very average, or maybe
yes, but
average.
Compared to everyone in the future.
He and Maya Rudolph, who's playing a hooker, are stuck in suspended animation or whatever.
No, they're army
dug up in a
Frozen,
kind of
Walt Disney
construction
style
thing.
Frozen.
Gotcha.
And they put him out and then they trash the experiment. And they wake up in 2550.
Oh,
no,
so
2505.
Okay.
So it's 500 years from 2005 when it came out. And it's like President Camacho Mountain Dew, like something. But I don't know.
And it's the guy that plays the dad on Everybody Hates Chris.
It's Cheeseburger Eddie from.
Wasn't the dad on Everyone Hates Chris?
Expendables, also the black guy.
I thought the dad, or wasn't the dad on Everyone Hates Chris? Wasn't that Bernie Mac? Was he not the dad?
He was the dad in the Bernie Mac show.
I'm pretty sure, he was the adopted father on the Bernie Mac show too.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you there too. But there's so many good things about that movie. I mean,
it really.
But something about it, that plot line seems very similar to me when I think about it, just to the movie
Titanic.
Ricky Gervais, where everyone, no one can lie, no one knows how to lie.
Oh, it's called The Invention of
Lying.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that movie, I thought that was amazing. It was kind of similar in that he's the first one to figure out that you can say stuff that's not true. Have you seen it, Fred?
I've seen part of it.
It was really, really good. I thought it was amazing. And just where it goes by the end of it. Jordan, have you seen it?
No, English accents get.
Oh, god damn. He's the only one! And the rest of the cast is like American.
Okay, well, I might give it a shot then.
I've never
really English accents. You're like, no.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, meh.
And who else?
Is it really?
Even Louis C.K. has a small part in it too. But
does he?
Yeah, but there's like a part. He goes to the bank and he's just like, oh, it says that you don't have any money in here. And he's like, I have $800. And they're like, oh, well, there must be something wrong with the computer. Here you go. And he's just like, and he goes to the bar and he's talking to his friends and he's like, something happened today. He's like, I said something that wasn't. And they're like, how could you say something that wasn't? Like, if it wasn't, you couldn't say it. Like, no one figured out. No one knew. And so by the end of the movie, like when his mother was, well, I guess I don't want to go all the good parts.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, no, let's stick with the theme we have going. Please.
I haven't seen this.
But none of you have seen it. So
it's again.
The Invention of Lying, though. Check that one out. But that seems similar, and it has a similar concept to that one. And I thought that one was really good, so I'll definitely have to check out the Idiocracy.
A big appeal to it. I love every little thing in it. But at one point, they have to stop and have the time travel conversation, which I've had many, many times. But at one point, he realizes that he's 500 years in the future, and trouble's coming, and he's like, well, what does he say? He's like, well, I'll just let them capture me, and then when I get away later, I'll come back to now and warn me so that I don't get captured. And then somebody's like, what? And he's like, but doesn't that mean I wouldn't be here now? And the fact that I'm still here now means that I haven't come to the future. Or does it? And he goes into that tangent. And I really enjoy those conversations. But number 2 is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
that's a great movie.
Now that I'm looking at it, I want to put a Mel Brooks in there in place of that. But I'll stick with it.
Okay.
History major.
Instead of replacing anything you listed before, you would drop "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" in favor of really sticking to your guns with let's just say the first one you named.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Volume 17 as much as the next guy.
I think that was one of the... I'm not going to say... I don't know. It was
Great
really
movie,
good,
though.
Sepia.
it's a good movie.
I like the sepia effect with it and all that business. And then number 1, I've got The Big Lebowski.
So you went Coen Brothers, 2 Coen Brothers at the top.
Very telling. I like the way you're listed in there.
The Big Lebowski, I don't know, I was just flipping through stuff. While I was doing this, I was like playing music on YouTube, and I typed in CCR, and the scene where he wrecks the car came up, and I was like, I love this. And so that made its way to number 1.
What is the song that's playing?
It's
Midnight Special?
It's whatever. Looking out the back door.
Out
yeah,
my back door.
I don't know, tripping acid in your house in Illinois is that song.
Nice.
We just got home from Illinois.
Oh, that's
has recently
right.
been there and
Right.
returned to home.
But there are elephants in the yard.
Somewhere by the Green River, I'm guessing. 'Cause that's another song from that album.
If no one had heard that song before, that would have been a very funny conversation. You're like, yeah, elephants somewhere in the yard. Yeah, I just returned from Illinois. I was like, because I don't remember that song as well. And I was just like, wait, they're fucking talking about the lyrics.
Starts out. Just got home from Illinois, locked the front door. Oh boy.
But without you saying it to the music, just stating it as a matter of it, and then he
Jordan,
just picks up. He's like, yeah, the elephants in the yard.
I don't get I'm right there with you on the lyrics. So
Jeff Bridges, Steve Buscemi, John Goodman, I think are phenomenal. And you wouldn't think
great
that,
chemistry together.
All of them.
Yeah, we talked a little. We
We
definitely
didn't talk
went
about
into
this.
John
Buscemi
Goodman.
doesn't really do much. He's still so integral to what goes on. He's perfect in the movie. But I have a question for you. Since you put 2 Coen Brothers movies as your top 2, is there anybody you can name in any Coen Brothers movie that you thought did a bad acting job? Like, is there anything where you thought? I think basically what I said before was that really took away from whatever was going on. You're like, that was so bad, just kind of. But is there anybody you can think of that did a bad job acting in a Coen Brothers movie?
That's a really good question. What do you think about that?
Don't think too hard. It's kind of like the Gordian knot. I mean, this was.
No, I can't come up with anybody.
Okay.
Can I ask you one question?
Oh,
too? And this
I
is
will
not.
say that
I'm not going to make this a regular segment, but
Sean,
I do
we
want to
can't
just know
run
with you being a
past.
ghost.
Let's just
I just want
look
to
toward
know.
tomorrow.
Do you think Nicolas Cage sucks?
Mom and Dad fighting.
Does
Does Nick Cage suck?
Does Nick Cage suck?
That I don't want to answer that.
Because if you say
It's like
if you say yes, you can get out of the.
That's like asking. I don't know. I like him in like 3 movies.
You could say lately.
I really don't like it. Like, we can all agree that Ghost Rider was the greatest thing made by humanity ever. This is sarcasm. So,
the greatest travesty.
That was not the greatest travesty.
Well, I mean, I'll put the Holocaust up.
You obviously didn't see the Roger Corman Fantastic
I did.
Four movie.
I actually.
Well, I got a copy if you want. Hope you got Betamax.
They had we found it somewhere. I think it was using. Anybody remember Kazaa?
Oh yeah.
Because there was
the first time they got freaked out downloading stuff over the internet.
They had Napster for songs. Then they came with Morpheus. I think was the next, and Morpheus had songs, videos, and everything else, like
But this
even
was when you
files.
basically
And
had to
stuff,
find a new one of
programs.
these sites every 2 weeks because it would be full of stuff, and then shit would just start dropping off. You'd be like, find a new one, and they would always be like, oh, try this, and it was always just.
It was well, not that I didn't think Morpheus stuck around for a good while, and then Kazaa. But then, shortly after, then they were just then it just went fucking nuts, and piracy and viruses rampant and stuff, and you're just like, fuck it. You just had to give up on those. And then it went to torrents. But yeah, on Kazaa, though, that's where I found a copy of that Fantastic Four. The original, did you know they made a Fantastic Four movie in the 90s? It was fucking
Jessica
shit.
Alba in it? Or
No, that was the one in like early 2000s.
The Boy Who Could Fly.
Yes! I love that movie. I love that movie. But he's
Pretty
also...
much tried to, you know.
You ever see Not Quite Human?
Yes, he's the robot android kid or whatever. Oh, not to be confused with Small Wonder, where it's the little girl or whatever, looking alien. Or something.
all right, to take it back to the Coen Brothers, I'm going to say this: when you asked that question, I I'm awful with names. I'm like, actors I can kind of do. I've kind of got a grip on it. But directors, just recently I've started to be like, oh, pay attention to these directors. I'm thinking of The Big Lebowski, and now that I'm saying this, I'm not going to remember what I was thinking of. But The Big Lebowski, the one where...
Lady Killers.
The second movie on your list?
The Mafia
Raising
one.
Arizona. The Mafia one?
Oh, Brothers,
Fargo?
Where Art Thou?
Oh, Brothers, Where Art Thou?
The other one on your list?
I know you know this movie because I've heard you talk about it. It's got DeJesus in it, and...
Jesus.
Barton Fink?
Yeah, Barton Fink. That's what it is. That's the one I was thinking of.
The Jesus.
Fucking with
Guy from
Jesus, man.
Michael Bay movie about the robots.
But yeah.
Nobody's going to touch that.
The one that got pissed on.
What? Now you're giving away the interview show too?
He's already mentioned that topic, I think.
I'm going to get him a t-shirt that just says, I am a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Man, there's a little quick anecdote story here. Just there was a site. Have you ever been to tshirthell.com?
Yes.
There was a shirt that had a spoiler for every fucking good movie.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. Where it's
And
like,
then, but then around the time, it was like the Harry Potter book came out. The 6th one came out on on a Tuesday. For some reason, someone brought up the site on like a Friday. I had the book on the shirt. It's like Dumbledore dies, page 500. I was like, I was in the middle.
That is funny.
I was in the middle of the book. I was like, fuck me. Like, god damn the internet.
Did you immediately turn to page 5 whatever and check it out?
No, I was just depressed.
Did it stop you from reading the book or enjoying it?
No, I still loved it. But god damn it.
In regards
took
to
a little of the oomph out of it, you know?
In regards to that, I can say when I read number 7, I was on like page 5, and somebody's like, "Have you got to the part where Hermione dies yet?" And I was like, "What, you bastard!"
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But he was just fucking with you.
And there's like 3 points in that book where they're like, "Uh-oh, Hermione got poisoned and fell in a well."
And you're like, this is it! Hagrid's not going to take it well!
This is it! And then it never happens, and I was like, "You're a bastard, Charlie Brown." But,
He had you.
got me.
Well, I guess we'll say that's it for top 10. Well, pretty good. A couple weird ones on there, but that's all right. We all have our weird ones, so.
Oh,
it's
and
fine.
throwback to my
It's good to bring them.
Netflix movie, Killer Clowns.
Oh,
Killer
we're gonna have a Netflix segment. I'll come up to it, but now you've already said it. I guess we'll just skip to it.
Go ahead. No, just introduce the Netflix segment.
But yeah, we're gonna do
editorial.
Well, we're also doing Netflix. And I also put /Hulu recommendations because I do have a Hulu one on there as well. But and I did want to say I did watch Valhalla Rising.
Yeah.
On
Netflix.
Netflix,
On the hate
and that was on the recommendation.
Lukewarm about it.
It was just I didn't hate it, and I liked it, but I did not love it, and I was annoyed by some parts about it. It was. Have you seen Valhalla Rising, Taylor?
I don't know if I've heard you talking about it or if my roommates have talked about it, but I've heard of it, and I don't think I've watched it.
It gets off to a great start, but then it just doesn't go to where I guess I would hope that it would. But it's a decent movie, and it's great atmosphere, and it's unsettling.
Yes.
And the whole really the last 2/3 of the movie after the beginning is really almost like a fucking acid trip. Like the movie is very almost it's very surreal and weird, and all the characters have these they'll say these one phrase that kind of trails off.
Jordan and I like this movie.
But he'd be like, life is hard. And then it would fade away, and there'd be this long pause of silence, and the other guy's just like, we must go forward. And it was what I'm talking about? It does do that a little bit.
No,
it does.
I don't think so.
It does. But it's still a good movie. And I thought the main dude was really good in that. And I was like, I fucking have seen this guy before. He was the villain in Casino Royale.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was in something else. He was really good in it. But it's decent, but it's decent.
I liked it, but I like
It's got some
weird,
cool stuff.
arty movies. A lot of it was just all this symbolism, those dreams that he kept having. And I mentioned this before, I'm not going to go into it again, but I liked it. I get why the ending, I was really kind of taken back a little bit, but again, we were talking about how we like violence in movies. I was like, well, other than that, it really was awesome because he did what he set out to do. He got him there, and he's like, the only way that kid was gonna. Well, I'm not gonna talk about it now. Now I'm taking George's spot.
Okay, so yeah, that I did see that one. It's all right.
So what did you think of fucking whatever Heath Ledger did last? And he did half of it.
Dr. Parnassus.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Right, and it actually ended up working out fairly well because they recorded all the parts of him and the main so anytime he stepped through the thing, it was a different actor that was a friend of his, maybe just something.
Because they had I liked it.
And they all got
the other one.
I didn't.
It was Johnny Depp.
Fucking what's his face? Yes, what's his face? Who you hate? Bullseye.
Colin
Farrell. And he was good.
And then I always wanted to say Ian McGregor. But
I was going to say that too, but I didn't think that.
No, it was Gigolo Joe.
What the hell is Gigolo Joe? I didn't grow up reading
That was the character he played in AI. Jude Law.
Jude Law. Oh yeah, Jude Law. That is the other guy. And not easily, but Ewan McGregor.
I feel like in that, and you said you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like in that movie,
it's good, but not.
You get the point. You get point that Heath Ledger died, and that this is like a special treat that they were able to tie it together. And then it's good. They do the thing. Johnny Depp pops in and is Johnny Depp and makes it work. But I feel like in the last 5 minutes, you can tell that they just didn't have what they wanted.
String it together.
And now here's this random ass ending, and it's like, well, all right, we got to watch Heath Ledger a little bit more. Also, Terry Gilliam directs that.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, he had Adventures of Baron Munchausen on his top 10. Are you fun? You love Terry Gilliam?
That was my honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
It's really hard for me to leave off.
You haven't seen The Adventures of Baron Munchausen?
No.
Watch that. If you like Terry Gilliam at all, watch that.
Well, I mean, I love the Pythons.
Did you see? Did you also see The Fisher King? Watch that.
Okay.
The Fisher King is
pretty good. It's a good movie. It is a good movie, but not on the scale of The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. That's a really crazy, really good movie. And of course, you've seen 12 Monkeys.
Love the 12 Monkeys, but I'm a big Brad Pitt.
I like Brad Pitt a lot.
Johnny Depp. I'm basically Tiger Beat magazine.
Have you guys seen Trainspotting? Because fanboy.
That's one I haven't.
I love almost everybody in that movie. I love
on Netflix.
I've been told to
Johnny Lee Miller
by everyone.
You've never seen it?
No.
Holy fuck! Shut up! Are you kidding?
I saw the beginning where he goes into the toilet.
I've seen
That's not the beginning.
I've seen the
Man.
Okay, no, I've seen the scene where
Johnny Lee Miller, he's Ewan McGregor's narrating the thing, and it's toward the beginning.
Is it the one where they're in the room with the
No, they're shooting people from a grassy knoll with a pellet gun at the park, and he's like,
"Wow,
I was trying to go clean, so Sick Boy said he gave up heroin too, just to show me he could do it easier than me." And he's like, "That's the kind of asshole he was." And he's like, "Who's my best friend?" or whatever it was. It was kind of but it's shit like that. And I was just like, "That's so." And that movie is fucked up.
Yeah, it seemed weird.
I've seen the scene where they're in the prison and they're having people say, what is it? Something kick your ass? I don't know. They've got the 5 guys in the police lineup and they're all stepping forward and they're like, ba-da,
that's Usual Suspects.
All right, I'm on the wrong side.
I've seen Usual Suspects is the one with Kevin Spacey.
That is a great movie though. Great fucking movie. You haven't seen that?
I have seen that scene.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Taylor!
Sorry,
You better start writing this shit down.
One of the late Baldwins was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
God rest their souls and fuck Canada for that bombing attack.
They attacked the
Baldwins.
Every week if I can work it in there.
Well, I can only do it once,
Yeah.
It loses its flavor after a while.
Okay, so real quick, Netflix recommendation. I'll say a movie called Cashback.
I think I've heard of that.
Now, Jordan, you've seen it.
I have seen it. It's very offbeat kind of.
It's
movie.
basically about he's like a British kid. I think he just recently. I mean, the whole movie's British actor, so I'm surprised you finished it.
Yeah,
but
I gave it half
before you
a
start.
mind.
Since these are our recommendations, let's try to
keep it
a brief
synopsis.
No,
not giving away. Just saying.
Not an outline
he went,
of the movie.
It's like he graduated. I think he graduated from college with a degree in art. So he's very much into art and interested in art and specifically in sketching, and he's obsessed with like beauty. But he has this thing where like he ends up getting a part-time job at a grocery store, and while there he discovers he has this ability to stop time.
I can't believe I haven't watched it yet, but again, I said this before, but this is one of these things that they kept recommending. Netflix keeps throwing it in my face, and just based on the fact that they keep throwing it in my face, I'm like,
for years.
They think I want to see it. They want some guy that stops time and takes clothes off women. But every time I see it, I'm like, oh, damn you, Netflix, you're so I've been avoiding it, you know what I mean? But, you know.
But yeah, he stops time, and then he'll go and he takes off the clothes of the women just to admire the form, and he would sketch it out and stuff. And there's also some comedy and stuff in there mixed in with this kind of weird surreal moments where he's doing this. But you don't know if it's necessarily like in his head, if it's like an artistic thing, or if he does have some sort of ability. And there's some room there, I think, for interpretation on either way. And I don't know I can't remember for sure, but I kind of feel like they do give you a definitive answer, which I won't say. But it's very interesting, the idea of it, just that he's doing this. And it's, kind of creepy. But there's lots of boobs, so, check it out.
That's always good. I'm surprised you didn't like my first recommendation.
And then also I did have a Hulu recommendation. Me and the wife watched the first 2 episodes of the show called The Following. Pretty hot show right now. It's like, it's getting everyone's been talking about it and stuff. It's got Kevin Bacon and James Purefoy in it.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And it's almost like they took elements from Silence of the Lambs, and I'm trying to think of something else that they mixed in with. But
hold on, let me write that down. What's it called?
The Following.
The Followings?
Following.
The
Following. Following someone.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
But yeah, so this guy, he's a serial killer. Kevin Bacon catches him, puts him away. He breaks out, and he has they find out that he's been reaching these people through the internet for like the last 5 years using the guard that was with him. And he basically has almost like an army of people willing to do shit for him.
A network of little helpers.
Yeah. And so it's creepy. And James Purefoy, I don't know if you guys remember him or not, but he's a really, really good actor. He's in a fucking awesome movie called Solomon Kane.
I love the Solomon Kane.
I think I've seen that.
It just recently
I have it.
Came out to theaters in the United States, but it came out probably about 2 years ago now overseas, but they couldn't find a distributor and it was kind of locked up. But it's a really cool movie. He's also on Rome, and he played Mark Antony, the HBO show. He is fucking amazing in that. And he's also has a small part in John Carter. And it was kind of weird because John Carter had the guy who's like the king of Mars, the older guy. He was Caesar on Rome, and then his general was Mark Antony on Rome. So it's kind of weird that they end up doing that together. But yeah, James Purefoy and Kevin Bacon. It's a really good show. Go ahead, Netflix. You can. I guess I don't know if you had anything to add to it earlier. I guess I'll fucking mix it around to fit it in this part from earlier. But if you had anything to add, it was what was the Netflix?
The original Marty McFly was Eric Stoltz.
Oh, he makes even more sense because he was even hotter at the time, and he probably was doing some kind of Wonderful at the same time, which was a great movie where the
Eric Stoltz
Bunnymen did.
Wasn't Eric Stoltz the star of that
I
great
Can't Help
movie?
Falling in Love with You by Elvis.
Wasn't he the star of that great movie that we talked about? I think it was Mask, the Rocky Dennis story.
Yes, he was.
In which Cher
And if
was
you want, you
about
can start
39.
Solomon Kane so we can watch it while we talk, because it's on my hard drive. It's on my computer.
I almost would, but it's such a good movie. I would hate for it. He needs to sit down and watch it. It's a really good movie. I mean, badass action movie. It's good. It's probably better than, about on par with the last Conan movie they did, but maybe a little bit better, I think.
My Netflix recommendation is apparently one of Jordan's last numbered movies. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
My origin story with that, again, I had never seen it. If I had heard of it, I was like, yeah, that's a thing. But I was doing a paper for a class on cult and campiness in movies, and I found my way to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and my life's never been the same.
It's such a great movie.
I suggest you go watch it if you're like me and haven't seen all of the good movies that these guys are talking about. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. Fred, what do you got for Netflix recommendations?
I don't want to take anything away from Jordan, so I'm just going to say definitely watch the Trailer Park Boys movies.
Before
the movies that are on there, definitely watch those.
Yes, I agree with that a whole bunch.
Before it gets taken off, I guess. Because it's supposed to be taken off.
Yeah, that's a rumor that I heard.
Yeah, it's true.
A little bird told him.
Yeah, it's going to be ending at the beginning of March.
Oh, no.
The show's getting taken off. But, as Fred said,
But I think
the
that's
internet
in
is a tricksy
anticipation
bitch.
of there's a new movie coming out, a new Trailer Park Boys movie. Does anybody watch their new show?
The drugs and sex and what is it called?
Yes, that one.
No, it's they did another.
Yes, it's that one.
They did another show that was called like fucking drugs and shit. Or something like that.
I hope that's the title.
It's something not
so
like
much.
that.
Yeah, it's like something like high on or drunken on drugs.
The high
on
on
drugs.
show. Drunken on drugs.
Yeah, where they're the like it's pretty. I think it's really funny. I mean, maybe not everybody would like it, but
Have you guys?
but anyone that has the internet can probably find at least clips of it. It's like
true.
by googling it.
Along with Project Free TV.
I
Next
love
to it.
Project Free TV.
Yeah.
I used to use it a lot, and then Netflix happened, and it just left it like an old girlfriend. And then your sister actually was like, "Oh, I was bitching about not being able to watch Fringe." She was like, "Project Free TV." I was like, "Ding ding ding ding." I was
Yeah, you're like,
God, I've heard that
yeah.
before, and I was
I
like,
remember
"Oh
that
yeah."
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Netflix. Oh, you didn't have another one? That was
Oh, I got all kinds.
Well, yeah.
Okay, last
for this
week,
episode.
you know how I've been trying to keep up and watch anything I haven't
Yeah.
seen that comes up. I tried to watch a couple Nick Cage movies.
I mean, I'll
By a
defend
couple,
that.
I
Don't
mean
do that.
I wasn't able to find anybody to borrow Bad Lieutenant from.
Oh,
So
I'll
I'm
buy
gonna give it a chance just
I'll
because
buy
the
a
one
copy.
scene you described sounded like one of those things that might be like based on that 15 seconds the movie passes. But I was looking at the movie Stolen, which is new. It came out in 2012,
Yeah.
and another reason why I hadn't heard of it is because it was originally titled Medallion or The Medallion, and they
Like-
changed the title somewhere right before they released it.
Maybe because they saw the Jackie Chan movie and already.
But
came
in
out.
looking for that, I came across a movie called Stolen from 2009 with John Hamm and Josh Lucas.
Remember Josh Lucas? I don't remember John Hamm.
John Hamm's the guy from
Mad
Mad
Men.
Men. He's
Oh,
John Draper.
okay.
God damn,
Yeah,
come on.
Gotcha. I haven't watched any Mad Men yet.
What?
I know I've heard it's really, really, really good.
No, it's really
also
good.
on Netflix.
At least,
Yeah,
at least give it a try. The first season, I don't know, I like it.
I watched all of the third season live, went back and watched the first two seasons, and just couldn't
It has
spare
to.
the time. Like, it was good, I liked it, but I think I got, like, to the sixth time Dominic's wife was riding a horse, and I was like,
Yeah, well, some of us are into chicks riding horses, and some of us aren't.
What's the girl's What's the girl's name? The chick that was in Firefly that's in Mad Men. Hendricks is her last name.
Christina Hendricks. Oh, yeah.
Her name is-
I thought she looked really good on Firefly.
her name is
She
Boobs.
plays Mrs. Mel Reynolds.
I may have to check that out.
Have you guys seen this?
She's really good. She plays like the head office
Bitch.
executive assistant. Okay, whatever you want to say. No, you're good.
All right. So,
I think she described
Mad Men,
it.
but watch. Yeah, that's my Netflix recommendation for a TV show for sure. Check that out. I think it's still on there, at least the first few seasons.
yeah, everyone.
But
talks about
Stolen,
how-
anyway. John Hamm, Josh Lucas, right? You know this guy. He was like
I
the
remember
only thing I
Josh
can remember him in is the shitty Ang Lee Hulk movie. He played Talbot,
Yeah.
Glenn Talbot, and he gets knocked out.
Oh, and he's also in Sweet Home Alabama. Don't ask me.
Yes, he
Fucking know
surely
this.
is in that movie. So I was trying to get away with not mentioning I'd ever seen it.
Have we,
Well,
have
at one
we,
point
can we
we
all
all
say
come
that
to
we
terms.
have seen it and we don't want to
Yeah,
talk about
this
it?
movie. I don't want to
Where
talk
have you
too
seen
much
it?
I
about
haven't
it.
seen
Oh,
Sweet Home
you're-
Alabama.
Look at you.
I've been avoiding it like the plague.
Untainted.
Well, it's not even like you have to avoid it. I assume you avoid it for a while and it will die.
Like most things that change your life. See you, Jordan. Don't wait. It's like recommending The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp.
I did see that
I've seen
one.
that
though.
one. I've seen that too.
I know, it's so disappointing. It's like watching a Nick Cage.
Did you?
Okay, what did you think of Lord of War? Have you seen Lord of War?
Yeah, it was good. That was one of the ones I thought was good.
Yeah,
I
he gave
agree.
that a yay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you need to listen to the episode too. See some of the stuff we cover.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because he told me that you liked or didn't like. I think the ruling was no on Trapped in Paradise, and I really like Trapped in
Yeah,
Paradise.
he said
I liked it, but again, it's one of those things that,
That could be
like
because-
the Family
Family
Man
Man.
and something else that Sean mentioned, I felt like they could have put anybody in his role, and based on the people around him, it would have been the same or maybe better.
I can see it.
Yeah. You see, I mean, I wasn't looking for excuses to hate on this. It's one of the reasons I didn't had to vote no, because it's not like, and like the thing, like in Raising Arizona, I said that based on that alone. I'm not going to go into what we said, but basically the good things he's done make up for it, and he comes out 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he named his son Cal.
And that puts him over the edge.
And that's so
And Sean told the trick question thing at the end where he's like, oh, never mind. Edit all this shit out. Netflix recommendation, Jordan.
All right, Jordan, what do you got?
All right. Well, just first off, I did want to mention my Netflix recommendation, VHS, the horror movie last week, is going to make a sequel. And apparently,
I saw that.
they are going to put zombies in it.
Yay.
So,
yay, zombies!
Just wanted to get that out of the way. But I did also mention, as we touched up on before, Trailer Park Boys is ending at the beginning of March. So definitely get as much as you can on that before it does end. And also, my recommendation would have to be a very strange movie. It's called The Immaculate Conception of Little Dizzle.
It's a great movie.
You got to see it?
Fred did watch it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a very trippy movie. It's about this guy kind of hard on his luck at a moment in his life, and he has to get a job at this place where they're testing all these crazy devices, one of which is cookies that microwave in your mouth.
I can get behind it.
And apparently there are side effects.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. And that's basically what the movie is about, so...
That sounds like such a great
Dive right
movie.
in.
Yeah, I gotta give that one a shot. Good recommendations all around. That one I gotta check out. Let's see. Movie news. I did want to talk... I saw snippets from the Oscars. Looked at some of the winners. Jennifer Lawrence, the adequate actress from X-Men. Apparently more than adequate. Enough for an Oscar.
Yeah, for Best Female Lead as well.
In that movie. But man, she's pretty young.
Maybe she's just got some...
I guess I need to see that
judges
movie.
that really
You
like her.
see how it moves around in those movies, and she doesn't do much at all on the final cut.
My girlfriend saw Silver Linings Playbook. She said she really liked it.
Weird, your girlfriend liked Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, that's basically where I was going to go with that. I don't think I'm going to watch it. But, yeah, people that pay to see movies enjoyed that movie, and then she got an Oscar, so.
Yeah.
But no, if you haven't seen it, YouTube Jennifer Lawrence and Jack Nicholson, because right after the ceremony or whatever, they're doing an interview with her, and Jack Nicholson walks up to congratulate her. And the interview,
I heard about that. They had the clip where he just
cuts off the interview, and he's like, "Excuse me."
Hold on.
He's like, "I want to say you did a good job, blah blah blah. Really loved the movie, blah blah blah." And he turns, and then he says, "You look like one of my old girlfriends." And he turns and walks away. And this whole time the interviewee is just like,
That is
go ahead
awesome.
She shouts back, "Do I look like one of your new girlfriends?" And he's like, what does he say? He goes, "I think I've been thinking about it." And she's like, "Oh my God." And he walks away. And she's like, "I've never met him before. That was weird." And then Jack Nicholson just
I've been all over the wrong parts of the internet lately. That is the most awesome story I've heard in 2013. No bullshit, Jack. That is...
Jack Nicholson and Jennifer Lawrence. It's going to happen.
Wait, did he pop back in or something?
Oh, okay, yeah. And then she kind of comes out of that character, and she's like, "Oh my God." And the guy's like, "Have you ever met him before?" And she's like, "No, that's Jack fucking Nicholson. That was crazy." And then Jack Nicholson's face pops up above her, and he's like, "I'm still waiting." And she's like, "Oh my God." And then he slinks off to Hollywood.
Oh, good.
But
Jack
and then, yeah.
Nice. I was going to say, I noticed watching the Oscars, it seemed like Seth MacFarlane was getting a really lukewarm reception from the audience. I think partially it's because me on Family Guy, he makes fun of all of them.
Yeah.
Or has at least one point or another.
Yeah, it's hard to believe they even let him really be part of it, because he really tears both
I mean,
of
that's
them apart.
that's kind of what his whole show that he's been doing the last decade is all about. So it was kind of weird. Some of the jokes, man, some of them did not seem to go over very well.
I mean, what was it? The 84th?
Some of them were pretty funny.
Well, okay, let's hear one. I didn't watch that shit.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
What?
There was one
I
dealing with
guarantee
the
I probably probably said something worse to
there was
the
a
wrong
really
person today.
I mean, this doesn't sound right, but there's a really good one about the Holocaust.
He did what?
I just can't
He
remember.
didn't mention the Holocaust.
I'm pretty sure.
He may have. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he did it, but he worked it in well.
He worked it in
Holocaust well.
At one point,
I don't know, but I thought he did. The audience didn't think so, but I thought he did good.
Something about what? All the. Please don't make me make a worse joke right now.
No, he's talking.
Tell me.
Oh, I think he says
Andy Cor's gonna pop in the door here in a
is.
second. Just
It was
I think he's talking
Sing a
about a
little song.
movie, a past movie, and he says, introducing the star of the most memorable event in history. Strike that. The Holocaust was probably that. Number 2, I think it was something along those lines.
Oh, that's pretty mild.
Oh, no, it was much better than that.
Better or worse?
Yeah.
That depends on how you feel.
Well, either way, it's not as cool as the Jack Nicholson story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was pretty good.
Jack took the cake.
I thought there was also a part where he interviewed talking about like the different actresses that had won the Oscar, and he went through saying how naming off each of the actresses that had won in the past that they had all seen their boobs.
They did a song about that.
I seen your boobs. I seen your boobs.
And then it apparently ends with Demi Moore like 14 times. So they're like, I've seen your boobs, I've seen your boobs, and Demi Moore, and then
Yeah,
Demi Moore's,
I'll put
and then
that-
Demi Moore's.
I'll put that as another Hulu recommendation. The entire Oscars in 3 parts is on Hulu, so
Now,
it's
I
almost
might have to check that
worth
out
watching
because that
just
sounds
for
pretty
Seth
awesome.
MacFarlane.
Yeah.
And there's also a part where they somehow
Hold
worked in
on.
Ted.
A minute ago, though, did you really confuse the senior boobs with the Holocaust? Because you were trying to think of just what the worst.
Oh no!
Holocaust
There was some joke
the
that
Great
just
Breast Holocaust.
We lost a lot of good men.
no. There was. I'll find it and I'll find it and I'll put it on the blog, and so I'll make sure it gets in there somewhere. I'll put like the joke Sean can remember. I'll find it.
You'll find it like the scene
Now
with
you're
the
just gonna
shaking
go look
head
up
that
the
you
best
couldn't
joke.
find anywhere.
Well, you took care of it. All right, so let's see. There was I was really happy to see Django Unchained who got Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. Surprised Argo ended up getting Best Picture
A
though.
lot of things. Argo got a
Yeah, I
lot
was
of
very-
awards.
I
surprised
really
about that, too.
expected Lincoln to steal it, but Ben fucking Affleck
Well, that's what
made the
happened.
best movie.
Hey, I mean, he was a. Phantoms, Reindeer Games.
It's the beard.
He is the
He
bomber Phantoms,
grew
bro.
a bombing beard. Bombing. I'm gonna no.
Hey,
I don't-
let's not,
He did.
Goodwill Hunting
He co-wrote,
50%, supposedly. Although if you've seen the,
Family
teasing
Guy?
done by, the Robot Chicken and Family Guy and stuff, it was
Which-
basically, well, we had a weed. I've done some stuff, man. You haven't done anything. I don't know.
That was really funny whenever Seth MacFarlane introduced Ben Affleck, and I don't know, Ben Affleck had like kind of a riff. He's like, I thought it was going pretty well, but it seemed like maybe there was
pretty sure that's
sarcasm
the
there.
MacFarlane joke I was
There was
just
a little no. I just watched it last night. He whenever, because of course Ben Affleck came out to like read off for one of the other awards, and so he like introduced him. So it's very weird that something talking him up and also making jokes about him though too, like how now he's like one of the best directors and stuff. But it's very weird though that he's getting related to like talking to all these people, but it's like he'd been making fun of them for all these years on the show. So it's kind of strange. It's interesting to watch just for that. This is really weird. They're doing a Ichabod Crane show, like a Sleepy Hollow show on Fox.
I feel like I know how that ends.
Yeah.
It says they just cast Ichabod Crane. It's guy Tom Meissen. He's been in salmon fishing in the Yemen. But a modern retelling of the classic 1820 short story developed by writing duo Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci, who did Fringe, Star Trek, Transformers. So at least
I like
one
all
good
those
thing.
things, but
Let me see. Oh yeah. However, Deadline recently revealed an interesting new element to the series: time travel. As it turns out, Crane, a former Revolutionary War captain, gets time warped into present day, where he teams up with Sleepy Hollow's detective Abby Archer to solve crimes. The stakes are raised further when Crane's old nemesis, the Headless Horseman, comes back to haunt the
are
town.
you laughing about the amount of time that you're wasting by reading that word?
I just
So So,
Oh, just start making bets how
Can we
many
just stop?
episodes it's
Let
going
me
to
get,
get
like-
canceled.
It sounds so bad.
so it's not a modern retelling. It's today, and
They brought him
the
straight from
two
the
characters
past.
from the Headless Horseman got sucked
Oh
into
man,
the day.
it just sounds so bad.
So why are we talking about it?
Because it's hilarious. But yeah,
Is
that's
this our
gonna
Roger Corman
gonna-
tribute or Ed Wood segment or something?
that's gonna suck really bad. So another thing, I thought it was interesting. The guy, one of the directors, because I think it's multiple directors on Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
my understanding.
probably.
They have
They
different
share
people
the
do
work,
it.
and George Martin does at least one.
Yeah, he
every
writes
season.
at least one, but they're different writers and different directors. But at least one of the directors said that the illegal downloads don't matter. Because apparently it was the most pirated show of 2012.
And that's
But
true.
he
And I've
says-
been saying that when that stuff happens, and I'm not saying that it's good. I mean, obviously some of it's illegal, but there's no way they can stop it in this age. There's just no way nothing they can do about it, and it doesn't really hurt. My God, HBO, because of things like that, I guarantee they've sold way more merchandise and stuff like that than, and I bet honestly that a lot of people, at least temporarily, sign up for HBO right before it comes on.
That's
I know
that's our
I'm
plan.
going to.
That's our plan.
Oh, well then I could just
That's
use
what you're
HBO
gonna do?
Plus.
That's what
What?
you're wanting to do is start up. You were going to do that?
No, I was just going to use your account to watch HBO on the go or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were all.
Well,
Gonna,
I mean, my plan earlier was to do that, but now I'm thinking, hey,
we were
let's
wanting.
just all give you money.
Well,
and
exactly. We were going to
I'll
chip
give
in,
you
so then we
my
could like.
full thing for whatever however long the season
That's
lasts.
what we were saying.
And then the rest of
Yeah.
it, and the next year,
So it'd be like-
you already have had it for a year. You'll already be so used to it.
It's a
it's not
simple
gonna
in and
cancel it.
out.
Well, it'd be like
process.
3 months because I don't think you have to sign up for a year or anything. So we'll just get it for 3 months, cancel it. when it's
Let's
done.
okay.
Tell them we don't like
That's the
it.
plan. But yeah, we'll scout. I'll cut all that out, but maybe not all of it, but some of it. But yeah, that's the plan though, for sure. But it says this guy David Petrarca. It says he made the observation that HBO has 26 million subscribers in the U.S. and 60 million worldwide. In spite of Game of Thrones being the most like widely pirated show of 2012, it doesn't really matter. And he's saying that the cultural buzz that's being generated by it makes it that the show is necessary. Like HBO just can't get rid of it. It's too big. It's too big. They can't stop it. No one's stopping this fucking train.
Yeah, I got my Blu-ray on the way. Got the email today.
We could watch that too.
Oh,
2 seasons.
holy shit, listen to this. Alan Sepinwall over at Hitflix was able to speak with a Netflix spokesperson who indicated that the outlet may be open to continuing on with further seasons.
Of
Hold on.
Wait, what now?
Hold
wait,
on.
who did?
Hold on.
Arrested Development they're talking about, right? Who did you say?
Yes,
The guy,
Arrested Development.
Yeah,
So,
Netflix
sorry.
program,
They
yeah.
said-
Let me fix
no.
that. I'll have to cut that out. But
Wait.
yeah. That's sorry. Hold on. Everything got confused
Okay.
because the way this got copied over.
Yeah, cut out the part
skip
where
to the
you're
next segment.
ridiculousness. I was able
Yeah.
to be like, oh yes. that.
So, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
They just said most likely not going to do another season past season 4.
Okay. You really scared me.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
They are doing the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the movie?
Again, we
let's
just got
see.
done. It's weird that you followed up with the cultural buzz thing because,
Yeah.
like that show, especially having been on Netflix the whole time.
Arrested. Yeah, no, that's
I've
fine.
got, if it does go away, I've got the whole thing online. If anyone wants it.
Yeah, I've got the DVDs.
How do you? This one is more not a real big news thing, but just want to talk a little bit about it. But Lone Ranger is coming out in July. How do you guys feel about it? That's what I want to know.
I'm pretty pumped about it. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
I think it'll
something.
be
Sean. I'm
good.
pumped about the Lone Ranger movie.
I'm also excited about it. I was always interested in the character as a kid. Watched some of the old, like on Nick at Night or something, some of the old episodes. But I always thought the character was kind of cool and stuff. So, but the
you ever
movie, Johnny Depp, of course.
Have you ever seen the movie from the 80s, The Legend of the Lone Ranger?
I don't think so.
It's okay, but they went against some of the things that, like, there were certain rules, kind of like Batman, you know, where iconic characters where there are rules, you know, or like in the TV show where the Lone Ranger was never shown without his mask. You know, you never got to see his face there, and that movie broke one of those things, and that's what's like, other than that, it's really cool looking in the way they do it or whatever. The Lone Ranger is really great. The original TV show, I think most of them are probably on YouTube, I have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clayton, I actually met Clayton Moore.
Is that the Lone Ranger?
He's the guy that played the Lone Ranger in the majority of the TV show, yeah.
Whoa.
My dad met him. Not to kill your thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. And at the time that I met him, he was wearing like black blue blockers because there was a court order that he wasn't allowed to wear the Lone Ranger mask. And I was just like, that was my introduction at like 12 years old or whatever to, and the guy was older than hell too, like, you know, and that was my introduction to, wow, lawyers fucking suck. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm excited for that. That one looks really good. Another thing I want to talk about. This I'm very apprehensive about. I like James McAvoy. He's really good in the movies I've seen him in. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of Wanted, but I thought he was good in it. Love him in X-Men. He may be playing The Crow. They may finally begin that reboot. It was rumored for a while they were going to have what's-his-face, the guy from Hangover and A-Team.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, they're talking about Bradley Cooper doing it, and I was like, oh god, no, not Bradley Cooper. But now they're saying James McAvoy maybe. I'd be more inclined to say yes to that, but even so, why do that movie again? Like,
that's my thing.
I mean, the first one is
who they have
flawless.
It's a terrible idea.
Like, I don't think anyone ever... Brandon Lee did the acting of his life in the middle of that movie. But
have you seen Showdown in Little Tokyo? Or a little movie called Laser Mission?
It could not have been better than he was in the
Ernest Borgnine's in it.
How can I miss Ernest Borgnine?
But yeah, I just don't see why they even try. I don't know why. Because I mean, the second one, I didn't hate the second one. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was just And then...
Are you talking about sequels to
I'm talking about sequels to The Girl. The third one...
Let's not. This is silly.
Yeah.
But the one... Did you watch the one, Wicked Prayer, that had... what's-his-face in it?
Edward Furlong?
Yeah, Edward Furlong. And David Boreanaz and Tara Reid. So goddamn
like it wasn't bad
terrible.
Like Tara Reid.
Check out my food. It was so bad.
Or is it Tara?
Who the fuck? Jeez.
I think friends. I think for maybe right on that one. Yeah. Who the fuck cares? I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. Or maybe they'll do it. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. James McAvoy, if he's in it, it could be good. But I don't have high hopes.
Insert. You can edit this in.
Man, you're creating a lot of editing work.
Magic buttons.
They have announced that Killer Clowns from Outer Space is getting a sequel. So you can tie that back to my thing. They said it's...
Oh, yeah, I saw that, too. I don't know why nobody mentioned it.
Fucking serious?
That's what it's
talking about.
You gotta remember you saying something.
Did they get the same director?
They've got the same... Well, the directors were all the artists who did the masks of the aliens.
Oh, okay.
Who, if you ever watched Ernest Scared Stupid...
Yes, the troll.
The trolls in that, and they
Oh
cross
my
over.
god.
Two of the clowns cross over to become trolls. Anyway, they've got the original actor, who they never say his last name in Killer Clowns, but on the paper, on the script, it's Mike Tobacco, which is such a great bad movie name. I want Mike Tobacco to be a hero in something. But
we better call up Mike Tobacco and go stop these killer clowns.
But no, he has said, apparently, after the great movies that he's not done, he's excited about this, because apparently he is an old man that lives in the mountains that talks about the time clowns came to town. Nobody remembers it.
That's really good.
And except for the two new high school heroes who he teaches to kill clowns.
How to kill a
And then
the Frog Brothers from Lost.
He's like, he just pulls out a little safety pin. He's like, this is your greatest weapon in the fight against deadly alien clowns.
Yeah.
Oh god. Now I can't wait to see that movie.
I know their names. I don't. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The Cheetos brothers, not Cheetos, but I think it's the Chiodos brothers, is who does that.
Oh.
So.
Okay. This, Fred, I know you're going to be excited about. Dark Universe. One of Guillermo del Toro's many gestating projects is the Dark Universe project, detailing the darker characters from the DC universe. Though the film started out as a rumor, del Toro liked the idea enough to make it a reality. Speaking with Total Film, del Toro says the film is on the right track. I'm going to be presenting my storyline to DC and Warner's, where I want to take this universe. We do have a writer, but until that's firmed up, I have to keep it secret. I hope it happens. So in this, there's going to be Constantine, Deadman, think Swamp Thing maybe in it. It's all these kind of weird mystical dark universe characters.
Like Fringe.
Yeah.
They're
Dead
all
Man, I
Vertigo
just...
titles, right? Well, I don't know if Dead Man had a Vertigo book, but those are all basically Vertigo was an imprint for like a mature reader's kind of weird thing.
The good stuff. Like Preacher.
Sandman, right?
And Sandman.
Constantine, Preacher.
I would love to see Sandman, and that's actually one of the things, the thing I have right after this. Neil Gaiman, they were talking about getting a Sandman TV show together a while back, but I think the whole thing fell apart. Because it was almost going to be on the CW and stuff, and I think he's just like, no fucking way.
Idea.
He's like, no way.
They need to make one open and shut season of the show, and make it an anthology where he's Morpheus and he introduces these stories.
They could maybe do 2.
Maybe. Of course they could do 4. Why not? Let's put it on the CW. Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
But do it like on, I'm just saying do like 2 or 3, put it on like HBO.
Whatever it is, it needs to have a finite thing. Like,
yes.
This is the beginning, this is the end.
Mm-hmm. Keep it faithful.
Sure.
I want to see the part where he curses the son of the person that captures him into a living world of continuous wake-ups.
Yes.
Like he wakes up and
the
then
first volume.
he looks around the bedroom and then a nurse comes in and it's like, it's okay, except I'm Satan. And then he's like, oh my god, and he wakes up again. And then he's like in his bedroom and then he's covered in beetles and then he wakes up again. And he just is stuck in that for
How
eternity.
terrifying, right?
Yeah. Right? That's
This is one of my favorite comic book series I've read. Of the series I've read so far, which not nearly as many as you've read, but I really, really like Neil that whole series from Neil Gaiman. You read it too, didn't you, Jordan?
Yeah, I did read it as well. It was a really good series. Very dark though.
Yeah, it's almost like it definitely works more like a horror story in a lot of the volumes and a lot of parts of it. Like,
not for the faint of heart.
No, but it's amazing.
give it to your mom.
Yeah, give it to your mom.
That's it for the movie news. So
Half of the things I say during my interview are going to start with edit this in so it works.
Real quick thing, just as we discussed last episode, the box office is pretty much complete shit right now.
It's just a seasonal thing.
It's kind of weird though.
You can't blame the shows that are out there either, really.
I thought it was interesting though. Identity Thief, somehow it dropped because Die Hard came out. But then now it's back number 1, and Die Hard dropped all the way down to number 5 in the box office. So Die Hard is not doing nearly as good as I think most people expected.
No, I actually kind of expected it to be.
Wait, is it in theaters right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's why it just...
Against my better nature, I'm going to have to go with Jordan on this for sure. I did not expect much out of this. I expected it to be, oh my god, people win a lot the first day and a half.
Yeah.
And then just...
This should be Bruce Willis
falling apart like Willis's ex-wife.
Red flag. Be like, maybe I should stop doing Die Hard movies.
I used to say I do like that they did cast a guy from Spartacus on there. I'm trying to remember his character's name, but Barker, but what's the friend?
Barabbas? The guy?
No. His friend with curly blonde hair?
Barney.
Barnabas?
Belasco.
God damn you guys.
Billy Joe Boyle.
It's a fucking weird Roman name, okay? It's like,
Bartholomeus.
Is it Bar?
Borrow.
Borrow?
Yes! Borrow.
You mean Sbarro?
There's no S there. That's the
Sounds
pizza
hungry.
place. But no, you remember his character though on Spartacus? Yeah. But yeah, he's in it, but he shaved his head. But he plays, I think, Bruce Willis' son in it. But yeah, apparently the movie sucks, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. So that's it for movie news. We've done all. Last big thing, want to talk a little bit about Batman. And as Fred suggested, I know, as you suggested, we're going to have to do this in multiple parts. We're just talking about the beginning. We're just going to talk about getting in the early years of Batman films. We're going to hold off before we get to like the Nolan ones.
So you just want to talk about the first four.
So first, let's talk about
The first what?
Adam West and the original Batman series. Has everyone here watched it? Did you watch it as a kid at all?
Yeah, I used to watch the old show with my grandpa. He was a big fan of the old TV show, but it was very corny from what I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the little pow whacks and pals.
I don't remember where my obsession with Batman started, but I think it starts with the Tim Burton movie. But I was so into Batman, and then the animated series was out, that I kind of dipped back into Batman and Robin. That I was just like, I wanted anything Batman. So that's why I started watching that on like Nick at Night and stuff. I really liked it. It's ridiculous. It's funny, but it was intentional. Like I think a lot of people, whenever the Tim Burton one came out, everyone was like, "Fuck that old show." They didn't know Batman at all. But I mean, that's kind of how the character was up to that point. I mean, from what I understand.
Yeah, well, that's how the character was at that time for sure. Yeah. Because like in the 50s and early 60s, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but Frederick Wortham wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent. And there were like Supreme Court, whatever it is, hearings about it. And basically say the comic books make kids violent and gay, which, whatever. It was just silly.
Pretty accurate.
And, but then they introduced the Comics Code Authority.
Well, they started dressing like Robin.
The Comics Code Authority was introduced as a little stamp on all the comics. It was like, this is okay for your kids to read, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah. Turn your kids gay.
And there were still people publishing some stuff that wasn't like that, but basically nothing, So Batman then turned it into a real lighter kind of thing, and in '64 it got even lighter and more campy in anticipation of the TV show that was coming in like '66 when it started or whatever. So the comics were basically already like that. That was when they first did the yellow circle behind the thing, and Dick Sprang was drawing it in the '50s and '60s, and Batman was like blue, light blue and gray. And, come on, old chum, and they were winter in the daytime,
right?
Which that was totally But then the TV show was, I think that's a lot of people's introduction outside of comics, of course. Probably the TV show even more. Not every, I grew up reading comics, and I mean, anytime that TV show was on any channel, I was all about being home for it.
Did you watch have you seen the original serials? I know they exist, but I've never seen any of them.
Wait, before
they used to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
like old 40s movie serials.
Really?
Oh yeah. Sometimes they look pretty cool, but usually Batman looks like a confused Cocker Spaniel the way the ears fall and go. But they're just like every other movie serial, it's a couple guys chasing some spies or some foreigners, Pez, chasing people around, but it's they're just like all the other movie serials, but it's worth watching just to say I've seen every Batman movie ever made or whatever.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that the character used to carry a gun. Did you know that?
Well,
I didn't think what? It wasn't a real gun or something like that?
No, he used to have a gun, didn't he?
Because I know that at some point he threatens Superman that he'll nope, I'm way off on that. He threatens Superman that there's a bomb attached to somebody if Superman comes too close, blah blah blah.
Really?
They did have shark repellent.
They did, yes. A shark repellent with spray!
Robin, get shark repellent!
Yeah, Batman went from him dropping people off buildings and killing them to they realized it was starting to become this big deal, and they were like, Batman doesn't use guns anymore ever because he blew apart some giants or so. This is when it was kind of they had some weird stuff going on with some giants. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but he basically just blows them away, and they were like, Batman doesn't use guns, which is a really cool thing to do, but that also led to, was immediately followed by all this, hey, I've never seen before, ribbon cuttings for malls and stuff, and that's one of the problems I have with the Nolan movies, which we're not going to go into, but too much daytime. A Batman movie should be at night always. I mean, that's just, Batman,
when he's Batman,
he does have to sleep at some point,
and
the night is when he's operating, and the dark is when he comes out, when he comes out, and he operates until the sun goes up. That's why he always is like, oh, I'm a drunk playboy with a skiing injury.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think growing up, Batman was already a thing. It was.
Well, because you were born after the Burton movie came out.
Yeah, because that movie was huge. If you look at the box office numbers and stuff, if you adjust for inflation and everything else, and how many people just went and saw it, I think Dark Knight Rises or the Dark Knight, it's I don't know if it beats it or it's close, but it's I think it beats it, that it had more people that went to see it. Based on the number of tickets sold, not how much money it made.
No, but on the same scale as now, it would have been a bigger deal because it obviously, it was huge. And that was right as I was an age where that was important. I don't want to date myself too much, but at the time, that was just after The Dark Knight Returns came out.
Frank Miller.
Right, the Frank Miller.
there was this Batman that everybody was like, oh. And there had already been like Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams had already brought him back to this detective that was real dark and real brooding kind of guy. But when Frank Miller did that, it really changed your thing about, man, Batman, he's crazy. And half the crazy people are made nuttier by his presence. You know what I mean? And it's so good. And that movie did a great job at that time of, because everybody really, about 50% of those people that went that first weekend were expecting to see zap, kapow, holy cow, Commissioner Gordon, grab the red phone, where's the tilty head with the button, let's slide down the bat pole. Like, none of that, you know. And it did a good job of meshing those two ideas, so it was, I guess, you know what I mean, even though there's no Robin, it wasn't really crazy like that, but it did a really good job of making it darker, but way more, obviously, Jack Nicholson's Joker, he shoots cold people, but he wasn't like slitting throats and poisoning people the way you think of.
Yes.
He was trying to poison the city, but there's all the Prince music and the weird. Some of it's a little, but he's. I mean, he's great in it.
Crazy at the museum.
Now it seems crazy and over the top, but it's Jack Nicholson, so it's okay.
You give him the pass on that.
Yeah, I went back and watched the first two Tim Burton movies recently.
Oh,
Paige
so
had never seen them. So we sat down and watched them. The first one, it's still good, and I think a lot of it too is I just have so much nostalgia from watching it countless times as a child. So I really, really like it, though. Yeah, like you said, Jack Nicholson a little over the top in some of the parts, but the second one from Tim Burton, man, it's not that good.
They went
pretty good.
The one with the Joker,
it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
They went the one with the Joker, then the one with the Penguin, then the one with
Riddler and Two-Face?
No, then it goes to Two-Face.
And then it goes to Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy.
Yes.
That's the order?
Yeah.
Okay.
And somewhere in the course of those movies, Billy D. Williams, through some miracle of plastic surgery, became Tommy Lee Jones. Strange about that.
Yeah, because he played Harvey Dent.
Another thing I'd like to point out about the Burton movies is that at least in those first two movies, he managed to make Gotham City look exactly and feel exactly the same in two consecutive movies.
That's one of my favorite parts about those.
Nolan should have taken a clue from that.
I like the gothic look that it has. Like, they make it look like cartoon shots of a city. It's like weird stuff.
Yeah, and it was real Art Deco, kind of strange. You know, not as crazy as like the Dick Tracy movie with Warren Beatty, where it's all primary colors and they let Madonna be in it. But, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things to say with that first one. I liked it a lot. I don't know. The Prince music was fine. I liked it.
I've been really, really wanting to go back and watch them lately because when I grew up, it was like one of the last two was the ones that were current and big. And when you watched them, it was like, I could do this or Star Wars. And I went with Star Wars for like a decade. But I've recently come back to it in the last, 7 years, 5 years, whatever. I really want to go back and watch those again. But I want to think that the first thing that got me into Batman was when my dad's job takes him out of state for like 2 days and then he'll come back. And he went and saw whichever one had Schwarzenegger in it. And he came
Batman and Robin before.
And he came back and was like, it was pretty stupid. And hearing my dad say that it was pretty stupid made me really want to go see it and really want to like it.
You wasted your money. You're like, my dad is so smart.
Gotham's going to freeze. Freeze in hell.
He's got the claymation Ice Miser song in the background. It's like, sing low!
Oh, God. So bad. But, and I watched the segment. It was weird. Danny DeVito is creepy. He is such a creepy.
He did a great
It's a
job.
good movie. That's like
But
a
he's
good
just
movie.
he's like eating that raw fish, and he's like looking at it. He's like, I like to get inside of her, like as he's.
See, those are the things
But you don't know if he means.
There are so many weird sexual kinky things.
That's kind of like
Penguin-
Frank coming out from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It was so.
Wrong. The penguin comes through sometimes when he's playing Frank. I like the second
You can
movie.
just say Penguin's
The
birthday.
first two Burton movies I like. Definitely the first one even more than the second one, because the second one they go back to that. They do a really good job of keeping it like at this ambiguous time where everything kind of looks like the 50s, but there's technology that's caught up. It's not quite steampunk, but it's definitely a little outdated. But one of the most incredible things about those Burton movies is they kind of helped kickstart Batman the Animated Series.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that TV series in turn led to some of the most awesome Batman stories ever told, and movies, even though they're animated. I think we really have to talk about this because, let's let's just be brutally honest. The most awesome Batman movie ever made is animated.
Never seen them.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Wait, the animated
The brand
series?
new one?
I've seen the series, but I've never watched an animated Batman movie. So I'm going to have to delve into those. And there's no reason.
Where'd you
why
find
I
this
won't.
guy?
Mask of the Phantasm, that one, I don't remember all the details about it, but I heard the commentary track recently. With
Some of those half-hour episodes, whatever they are so... And I think Dean even says at one point in some interview, or maybe it was on a podcast with Kevin Smith or something, point where the stories became like, whoa, it became kind of elevated, and this had this theatrical feel to it. It was like the Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
Heart of Ice or
when he talks
Cold
about that
or whatever
episode,
it
The
was.
Heart of Ice, he literally starts crying, like, while talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah, but
Like,
geez,
even
I
he
did
gets
that with
worked up.
whatever we were talking about that
That's
one.
true.
Like, it happens in a heartbeat.
that's the
'cause
thing,
comics,
it's like,
when you grow up and that's one of your main... I mean, that's how I taught myself how to read as a kid. Not that I'm growing a shed, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But basically, that's the first thing I remember reading is comics, and they're such an integral part, and they're American mythology, basically, and we don't need to get into that, but I'm just saying, to me, that's why, man, those stories, they just, telling some of those things, and those panels and reading them, it's just one or two panels sometimes that just tear at you because it touches something.
Yeah, they're good
Yeah.
stories.
I get teared up thinking about some of the things from Game of Thrones at times.
Oh,
that
yeah.
happen within the
The
series.
characters.
And what's crazy is, as much as Marvel has always been known for being way more realistic, like grounded in New York and LA and not Metropolis and Gotham and Keystone City, those things seem to come way more from DC books. Those things that just, like somehow those, because as much as they're all kind of archetype things that really, when you think about it, it's like, they're all crazy. It's those books that really somehow, I don't know what it is, but they just really, and I'm not saying that there aren't those Marvel moments, but there are way more of those really, and some of mine come from stories that don't even really exist, that are kind of out of continuity, like Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And, I just can't stand the scene at the end when Captain Marvel, anyway, I'm not talking about that right now.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, this is, we have to mention those animated movies because they led to so much more. And The Dark Knight Returns, I know I have part 2, maybe even on me, but I'll try to find it just to give it to you because you have to watch this.
And I think
Jordan also hasn't seen part 1 or part 2.
Seen Batman.
We talked
Year
about, but he
One
did
just
see Batman Year
recently.
1 the other day. Yeah, Batman Year 1.
I really like that one because I thought Bryan Cranston did a really good job, of course, from Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle. He played Commissioner Gordon, who was just a absolute fucking badass.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a
by the
great
way,
graphic novel.
What's
It's
his
really-
background? Like, how is it that he's... We were talking about this, because
He
there's that
would
part...
read the
Green
book.
Beret's ass, yeah.
I don't remember... I read the book, but I read it like 3 years ago.
Because he's like, been a while since I had to fight a Green Beret.
Yeah.
I let him keep the bat. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're like,
Pretty
what
awesome.
the fuck is... What was he, Spec Ops or something? Were you crazy?
I don't
Talking
know.
about
You know what? If
Commissioner
they
Gordon.
make that into a movie,
Commissioner
Ed
Gordon
Norton
in the comics
would be an
series is
awesome
just
Commissioner
absolute
Gordon.
badass.
Because he's, maybe he's
At
getting a
least
little
in
old for
Year
that, but I
One
think
edition.
Jim Gordon, you figures 30 or something, he's leaving the other city off some weird stuff. Great, though, that's a good.
Yeah.
But The Dark Knight Returns, it's the most awesome Batman book ever, even though the sequel, Frank Miller, by that time had gotten all kinds of wacky, but, he's Frank Miller, let him do whatever he wants.
So I'm considering picking up it's a leather-bound Frank Miller collection, but the stories are like The Dark Knight Returns, another great Batman one, and like Santa Claus is coming to town or something like that. Do you know?
Yeah, just get it.
Just get it.
It's
Anyway.
I just spent a shit ton on comics, so I'm gonna like hold off for a little bit, but.
Yeah, and so you got to understand, like, that's always driving Batman, and somehow Batman has managed to. The comic was about to get canceled in '64, and they somehow changed it and held out for a little longer. Then the TV show came out and obviously boosted everything. But after the TV show hit, or right about that same time, then they came into the '70s because it was canceled in '69, and then like the '70s and '80s, Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil and a bunch of other people just did brought it back to that kind of Batman thing, and it was great. And the comic has always, they've always managed to maintain this balance when Batman comic maybe wasn't doing so well, some cartoon, TV show, something. And I'm pretty sure that Batman has existed on TV or in movies. I'm not going to say, continuously or whatever, but definitely with regularity going pretty far back. Yeah, but they didn't make, after those movie serials, there wasn't anything, as far as I know, until, the Adam West TV show.
I have the first season and the third season for the animated series. really, really good. I need to get the second and fourth still, but watching them, we watched them not that long ago, and it is really, really, really good. Of course, Mark Hamill, maybe the best Joker. Heath Ledger, of course, gave quite the fucking performance in Dark Knight, and I think most people would probably give it to him. But I would give it to Mark Hamill over Jack Nicholson myself.
Heath Ledger's Joker can pretty much, just like Jack Nicholson's, can kind of be summed up by the thing with the "get a load of me." Like that was the iconic thing, and that really was like the whole thing where you're like, this guy's gonna go do some shit because people are talking or whatever. Heath Ledger's Joker, the video thing where the guy's hanging upside down. He's like, "Are you Batman? Are you Batman? No." You're not! It just, I was like, it really was like watching a snuff film or something.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, and he turns back around to him, and I was just, that, and then,
those are the dark parts
really, that scene just really, I was like, that's like the Joker.
Yeah, that's where they let Heath Ledger direct those scenes. They gave those parts of the movies to Ledger, and
then you want to see a tricked pencil thing when he comes in to confront the mob, he's like,
God.
This is what, and he goes like, blap, and I was like, and he's like, and I was like, that's good too. I would like to do it and played up the laughing a little more, because to me the Joker really, because you read the comics, and of course I'm used to seeing ha 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 ha, streaming across a panel. Yeah. I expect there to be that, obviously, like the Nicholson movie, the Tim Burton movie, first one ends with he's dead, but he's got the little thing in his pocket. Like that's hilarious. I mean, that's perfect.
Oh, can I, by the way, real quick, I do want to jump back. In the second Batman movie from Tim Burton, another reason why it sucks, or not sucks, but a reason I don't like it, Batman fucking straight up murders one of those circus dudes.
How do you know that? Because
what he does, there's this one clown that has a bomb. He takes the bomb, there's this big giant dude who comes up, he punches the guy shakes his face, he's like, that's nothing. But then Batman looks down, and Batman tucked a bomb into the dude's waistband, and the guy looks down, and then Batman grabs him, throws him in a little tunnel, like a little pipe or something. He falls down dead, blown to smithereens.
The guy totally ripped that thing off and dove for cover, taking a little bit of strap to the thigh. And he's like, I almost had Batman. I
talked about Die Hard already.
I'm gonna say some of those other circus people.
You don't always see a parachute in G.I. Joe doesn't mean the guy died.
Some of those other characters came back. That guy, you don't see him again.
Some of the other characters.
The girl with the dog. The weird, creepy lady with the dog. I watched it recently, so I don't know how much of this I remember. Also, can we just talk about fucking penguins with rocket packs?
What? Wait. I really like Batman. Where are we going now?
This is the same movie.
Like I said, I haven't seen it in a long
Batman Returns. Like, the penguins' plan for taking out the city. He got all these penguins together and strapped little rockets on them.
Are you talking about?
And they all crowd in the middle of the city, and they're all ready to launch. And they got little fucking things to aim, like little targeting things that come down.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It is. It really is. When you go back and watch it, and there's a part where he takes control of the Batman car, but to do it, he put in a remote device. But to control the Batmobile, he gets in a little
child's car.
Like a 25-foot thing outside the wall.
And he's like, man, it's rocking around. It's like,
spinning the big wheel.
Oh, man.
It's ridiculous.
I would like to throw in that.
But Danny DeVito did a great job.
And Count Michelle Pfeiffer is so over the top with it. Yeah, all the cat.
I like Christopher Walken.
Chris Walken's great in it.
Yeah, Christopher.
I will give you that. He's great. Max Shrek.
Porkins is in.
I think my favorite part was whenever he goes, he's like, what would I do? He's like, well, she's like, you're not going to kill me. And she's like standing by the window. He's just like, she's like, huh. And he's like, and then he just gives us a little half laugh and then just shoves her out the window. And it was really
I thought she did a great job portraying a crazy woman. She looked just like a lot of girls I know at points in that movie. I think for when they came out, they were, obviously, Batman Begins, hopefully, is going to hold up a lot better. I do like Batman Begins, as many problems as that entire
We'll go into all the movies.
Whatever, I can't not mention it.
Let's go with the games, because I just bought Arkham Asylum. I know you just...
Arkham City's
at some
good.
point.
And we can kind of tie to that just because, of course, it does have the voices of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, the guy who...
Love the Kevin Conroy.
Did
but I like Peter Weller.
You sound a little like Kevin Conroy now that I think about it. When you just said that, you're like, I love Kevin. You said it in his voice.
Well, I've never practiced it, but...
I think you could do it.
Just fired it off real quick.
By the way, just to reference something, voice actors are actors. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying lots of voice actors are not Mark Hamill and people like that who do it. Kevin Conroy or any number of other people that do that. That are Harry Shearer, for God's sakes, he does like 80% of the voices on The Simpsons or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't. My point at the time was. There's lots of crappy
Nicolas
Cage. Voice acting
Nicolas Cage could have been replaced by anyone.
Again, that was kind of a thing. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't want a bunch of people like, screw you.
What the hell, Mark?
Right.
Kevin Conroy.
But I really like Peter Weller.
I
like that.
I have mixed feelings about him. He kind of fits for an older Batman, but it would have. I think the movie would have been just another point or two.
Exactly the way Batman was supposed to sound when I read that book, and it looked awesome.
I think it would have been better with Kevin Conroy. I hope they redub it one day.
That will never happen. That's just silly.
It won't ever happen, but I can hope.
It's not supposed to be that Batman.
I know.
It's not that Batman, and that's a big reason why it's okay to not have that iconic, like Tim Daly as Superman.
How did you
now Tim Daly really does. Even though I never, I watched all the animated Superman stuff, but Superman, that's the goofy guy from Wings. TV show, but he's good. I mean, he's
I wanted to try to stick it somewhat
just movies.
Chronological order.
Oh
well, and I wanted to,
but we talk about the Tim Burton movies. We do kind of have to talk about the animated series because I think
followed immediately.
I think the animated. It came right after it. They even used the same music from Danny Elfman for the opening. Mm-hmm. Which you got to say, that's one thing that's flawless about the first two is Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack.
Oh, it's so
beautiful.
He's really good. That theme, that Batman, that march, the.
I can say that one of the big parts for me for anything is the score and the music.
Yeah.
And a big part of first kind of getting to know and meet Batman and all that stuff was going to Six Flags and going on the Batman ride.
Yes.
And they've changed it in the last, decade. But and I'm talking about Six Flags St. Louis. I think enough people go there to where it's not going to go off anything. But they used to have it to where you walked through the opening all looked like a nice garden, a botanic garden. It had like paintings of like nice buildings. And that theme was just always playing. And then you turn a corner, and then there's like a cop car smashed into a fire hydrant, and it's spraying water, and there's like a boulder out of place, and you have to walk through like iron grates and things, and like you come around here, and there's steam spraying, and you come up into the thing, and it gets real cold, and there's fake rocks, and you step out into the room. You step out into the room where the Batman ride is, and across the way, you can't get to it. They've got the Batman suit in the glass tube. And it's like, oh, it's Batman's suit over there. Oh, and then you got on the ride and had a great time.
Like, if only I was 5'9", I could get in it. Michael Keaton seemed kind of short for Batman.
Well, yeah, but he did a good job, like I said, at the time and whatever.
Of seeming, like, imposing.
I mean, you know, people give him shit about it, but it was
like,
good.
Mr.
It was good.
Mom.
At the time, it was really good. It probably is not, obviously, I don't think it's holding up as well as... You know, maybe people hoped, but Nicholson's great. It's a good movie. Yeah. It'll always have a special place for me. You know?
And the second one, it's got good things about it, but man, it was a lot more silly than I like. It was way more like the Adam West show than I remembered it being. Even though the style was the same, like that darker visual style from the first one. But it was way more lighthearted in the story and like the characters. Everyone was a little more ridiculous. It was just odd.
It was like, you know that Prince scene you had in the first movie? Let's really kind of carry on with that idea.
I remember, I think I asked my cousin to record. She used to record tapes sometimes. And I asked her, I think I wanted her to get me the Batman soundtrack. I think I was thinking of the Danny Elfman score. And then I had a tape with all this Prince music on it. And I was really confused. I was like, and he did have a song. He's like, Batman. And he would say it, but then it was like those weird, fucking terrible sounding 90s Prince music with
Just glad you don't have to see it.
And I was just like, this is not what I was very disappointed. It was not what I asked for. I guess that's it for Batman. For now. To be continued. We'll get into more, I guess, of the Schumacher ones next time around. We'll spend a little. We don't need to spend much time on them.
About nipple size.
Just a little bit. That's all. They really deserve. I mean, maybe a couple Arnold quotes.
Oh, I think we should say though. I will say one thing about the Tim Burton movies real quick, and that is, and even the Schumacher ones.
We already brought the Schumacher ones. Taylor mentioned it. I think that covers it.
Same guy. Oh,
that was ridiculous. The Heat Miser or whatever was playing in the background. Wow.
I liked Batman Forever though. With Val Kilmer?
No. The
You don't
one
think Jim
where
Carrey's
Jim Carrey has a magic blender that sucks people's mind
Yes.
into his own
Great film.
head. And Tommy Lee Jones is a purple Two-Face.
Also like that song that plays at his house. The You hate the boss at your job. You remember?
Well, that's not what I was getting excited
okay,
about.
you guys. You motioned to me like you're like, do it. I was like, I got this. I remember.
I know all three verses.
In that movie, does
In
Batman
your
not
dreams.
kill Two-Face? Doesn't he just punch him off of a tower into a thing?
Or no,
Well, by Sean's way of thinking, if he goes off stage left, you don't see him again, that guy died horribly.
Blow up.
he just throws a bunch of coins and Two-Face tries to catch them all.
Yeah, that was
And then he
Two-Face's
falls. And then he
parents.
falls.
Yeah, but it's not like the bottomless pit in the Fortress of Solitude in Superman 2. I mean, there's like floor around him.
Right. And also,
But
I
he can't
was thinking
find
of
his
this.
own point in
In The Dark Knight, can you say that Batman didn't kill Two-Face? I don't think so, because he shoves him off a roof. Yeah, he's catching a kid, but...
Yeah, see, when you guys say The Dark Knight, I think of The Dark Knight Returns, so I keep cross-wiring this stuff.
The
in
last word in
conversation.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
right.
important part.
Oh, I know what it is.
Well, I mean,
We're not going to talk about those, I thought.
we gotta talk about intention here. That's so. His intention was to stop him from shooting. So, whereas in the other one, he literally stuck a bomb in his waistband, blew the dude up,
Was Michael Keaton.
blew him the
though.
fuck up. Huh?
It was Michael Keaton.
It was Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Mr. Mommed his ass. The only thing I wanted to say lastly, just that I was trying to get to with Tim Burton in the Schumacher movies, is that I like that I like the guy they had who played Alfred, and he did it for all 4 of those movies, and I thought he was great. I really liked, and I think he was probably a little bit better than Michael Caine.
Michael Keaton, he just had that part in Dark Knight Rises. You're just like, God damn.
Yeah, where he tears your heart out. We'll go more into Batman next time.
Boner and
We'll go more into Batman next time.
my boner than you, Batman.
That's it for this week's episode of CIA. Big thanks to Taylor for coming out, and big thanks to everyone or anyone that's listening. I have a lot of fun doing this, and we hope that it's at least enjoyable for some people other than ourselves. CIA, over and out. CIA, over and out. CIA, over and out. CIA, over and out.